Hello, champion. You're a champion already. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you have an interview today or got rejected lately, don't worry. Rejection is not an end. Get up to face rejection. So today we're going to discuss about this Java developer interview questions, which are mostly key features introduced in Java 8, how to collect the data into map in Java 8, difference between string literals and created with new operator, how hash map internally works, then identify the mistakes in a code snippet, swapping two numbers without a temporary variable, exceptions, finally finalize, and try with resources. So the first one is key features introduced in Java 8. This is a very common question which is asked in most interviews if you have given Java 8 in your resume. So it is mostly scenario based question. So they ask how you have used or make use of features in Java 8 in your project. So it is mostly based on Lambda expressions, streams API, functional interfaces, default methods, and optional class. Lambda expressions makes use of SAM, that is single abstract method, so it's easier for you to remember. You just remember it as SAM. Okay, the functional interfaces which you use are predicate, function, consumer, supplier, and many others. So this is the basic ones. You can understand what it is and the abstract methods used in it. Then the stream APIs which you have used in your project. Then the default methods, which is a newly added feature in interfaces, and optional class which we are using, which checks if the value is present or not. So the second question is collect the employee data into map in Java 8. So using streams, they'll definitely ask you to write a program. So this is a very common question or a regular question in interviews. When you write Java 8 in your resume, they expect you to write a program in Java 8. So here you are collecting an employee data into a map. So this is the employee. Then when you're collecting it to a map, employees.stream.collect collectors to map, then you give the employee ID and employee get name. So this is given, and you need to have this syntax by heart, because when they ask you to write in a notepad, you doesn't struggle. The third question is, what is the difference between string literals and strings created with a new operator? So string literal is interned in the string pool, which means that the identical string literals are stored only once. New operator in new instance of the string class, and it is not interned. So when you say S1 is equal to hello, it's a string literal, and S2 is a new string hello, which creates a new string object. So when you say S1 equal to S2, it gives a false, because one is a string literal, another one is a new string object. And then you can try S1 dot equals S2 to get a true result. Now, this is a very common question in Java interviews, how hash map works internally. This is a very huge topic. I'll create a separate video for this. So this hash map, when they start asking you about hash map, it goes on maybe for half an hour, depending on how you answer this, like the concurrent modification exceptions, the concurrent hash map, what are the new features in hash map. All these are the questions related to this. So hash map in general is a hash table, uses a hash table to store key value pairs, internally calculates a hash code for each key. So when you say map.put ABC1, ABC is a key and 1 is a value. So how it determines the bucket to which needs to be entered is it finds the hash code of the key, that is ABC, and goes to that bucket and puts inside it, do a hashing of the key. It handles collision using a linked list or a tree structure. The next one is they have given me this code snippet, and they've asked me to find if there is an error, or what will be the output of this error. I mean the code snippet. So when you see this code snippet, you have the names here. There is a null, and you have map which is collecting these values. So do you think it will throw an error because there is a null value here? That's true. It will throw a null pointer exception, because directly using a stream with null values to create a map can lead to null pointer exception. So with this, it goes with the different questions on this, like if will map allow null values, is it because of that it is failing, things like that. So in order to correct this particular code snippet, what you need to do, go to names.stream and then filter name not equal to null, and then give a distinct if required, ensure the uniqueness if needed. So filter out the null values using a filter before collecting into a map, and use distinct if you need unique values. So these kind of questions comes up in most of the interviews. Since it's the first level, it is comparatively simple. So when you go to the next one, it is to swap two numbers without using a temporary variable. So then you can use this a equal to a plus b, b equal to a minus b, a equal to a minus b. So a is 15, then b is equal to 15 minus 10, that is 5, and a is a minus b, that is 15 minus 5, that is 10, which has literally swapped these a and b values. The next one is what type of exceptions are available in Java, then the role of throwable class in Java, and how does it relate to exceptions and errors. So the basic thing is throwable class is the root class for all errors and exceptions in Java. So when you see here from the object, there is a throwable class, and then you have exceptions and errors. The exceptions are two kinds, checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions, and errors is something which cannot handle. Exceptions we handle using try-catch blocks, and we have runtime exceptions, which are unchecked exceptions, and IO exceptions, input or output operations, SQL for database access errors, and all these kinds of things. And then you have custom exceptions as well. So you can create an exception, say invalid age exception, which extends runtime exception or any other exceptions in Java. And you can give a particular description for it, like extend exception for a checked exception or runtime exception, and add constructors to provide meaningful messages like this, and then add your methods and catch them in your code to handle specific error conditions. So custom exceptions are actually mostly used in most of our products, microservices, etc. right now. So this is a very good concept to learn. The next one is a very common question. I encounter this question in most interviews, and it is a very simple one. Final, finally, and finalize method. Final keyword in Java is used to define constants or to prevent the method overriding an inheritance. So final can be used for variables, methods, classes. So here you have a variable final int max value is equal to 100, and then later if you try to edit the value of max value to 200, this will cause a compile time error for you. Then you can use it in a final method. Here final void show, this is a final method, and when you're attempting to override this final method, it will give a compile time error. So this class child extends parent, and in this child class we are giving the public void show again, which is a final method that is attempting to override it. Then the final class, this will cause compile time error when you try to extend the subclass extends the final class, because this class is a final class which cannot be extended. Then go to the finally. Finally is a block used in exception handling to ensure that the block of the code is executed after a try block, regardless of whether an exception was thrown or not. So even if any exceptions is thrown in the try block or whatever it is, definitely it will go to the finally block and it does some operations which is present there. You can again give a try and catch method inside the finally block, and there is an n number of questions which can come over this. Then we have finalize method is a protected method of object class that can be overridden to perform cleanup before the object is garbage collected. So here when you have the finalize method, you go to this and clean up the code here, and the object is being garbage collected is finally super.finalize. This finalize method is called, and it is used in garbage collection context. You are already ahead in the race. Congrats. So the purpose of try with resources statement in Java, how does it work? So usually when most people, when I go for interviews or when I am an interviewer, when I ask this question, try with resources, most candidates think it is a feature added in Java 8, but not. It is introduced in Java 7. This feature automatically closes resources when done. Watching, like, comment, and subscribe. Don't get frustrated by getting rejected for the interviews. Get rejected, face rejection. There emerges the growth. You're a winner already. Thank you.